Lesson 62, Condition. Hello, and welcome to this lesson. Today, we are going to learn useful words and expressions for talking about conditions, possible future situations, and circumstances that affect whether something can happen. A. Words connecting parts of a sentence. The word unless means if not. For example, you cannot come in unless you have a ticket. This means that you cannot enter if you do not have a ticket. The expression on condition that introduces a requirement that must be satisfied. For example, you can borrow the bicycle on condition that you return it by 5 o'clock. The phrase in case of is often used on notices to explain what people should do when a particular situation occurs. For example, in case of fire, dial 112. Here, in case of fire means when there is a fire. The more formal expression in the event of fire has the same meaning. The expressions as long as and so long as introduce a condition that someone agrees to accept. For example, you can stay as long as you do not mind sleeping on the sofa. We can also say, you can stay so long as you do not mind sleeping on the sofa. As long as is less formal than so long as. Both expressions are less strict than on condition that. The words provided and providing also introduce a condition. For example, provided you do not mind cats, you can stay with us. We can also say, providing you do not mind cats, you can stay with us. The longer forms provided that and providing that are also possible. These expressions are fairly formal. They are not as strong as on condition that, but they are more restrictive than as long as and so long as. Language help, in case of and in case. Do not confuse in case of with in case. Use in case of before a noun, when referring to a possible event, or emergency. For example, in case of fire, dial 112. Use in case before a clause when taking action, because something might happen. For example, take your umbrella in case it rains. This sentence means that it is not raining now, but rain is possible. B. Supposing and what if. The expressions supposing and what if are commonly used in spoken English to introduce possible future situations. What if is usually more direct. Imagine that Ethan is coming tomorrow and is expected to help. Someone might ask, supposing he does not turn up, what shall we do then? We could also say, what if he does not turn up? What shall we do then? To turn up means to arrive or appear. C. Conditions with words ending in ever. Words ending in ever can show that the particular person, place, method, or choice does not matter. The main stress normally falls on ever. However means that it does not matter how something is done. For example, however you decide to travel in this country, it will cost you a lot of money. Whichever means that it does not matter which one you choose. For example, you will end up paying at least €70, whichever means of transport you take from the airport to the city center. To end up doing something means that this is the final result of the situation. Wherever means that it does not matter where you go. For example, public transport is expensive wherever you go here. Whoever means that it does not matter which person is involved. For example, whoever wins the next election should try to lower fares. These ideas can also be expressed with no matter. For example, no matter how you decide to travel in this country, it will cost you a lot of money. No matter who wins the next election, they should try to lower fares. Common mistakes. In conditional clauses introduced by expressions such as unless, in case, as long as, provided, and whoever, use the present tense when referring to the future. Say, take a jacket in case it gets cold later on. Do not say, take a jacket in case it will get cold later on. D. Nouns that express conditions. The noun conditions can refer to requirements that must be satisfied. This use is rather formal. For example, certain conditions must be met before the peace talks can begin. A prerequisite is something that is absolutely necessary before another activity can begin. This word is very formal. For example, a good standard of English is a prerequisite for studying at a British university. Entry requirements are the official conditions that applicants must satisfy before entering a course. For example, what are the entry requirements for doing a diploma in management at your college? The expression under any circumstances means in any possible situation. It is fairly formal. For example, I would not move to London under any circumstances.